When you're getting sober, there's some harsh truths that come along with sobriety. We're going to get into one of the most important ones in this video. But before we start, if you guys are liking the content, please like, please subscribe, please comment. I love all you guys. I hope you had a great 4th of July. Let's get into it. So this video, I want to get into one of the most important things that people have to remember when they're getting sober. And that thing is not everybody is willing to give you a second chance. This is a harsh reality of sobriety, something that I learned firsthand and a lot of people will learn. A common thing for people when they enter sobriety, whether they go, through a detox phase at their house or they go to an inpatient treatment or an outpatient treatment, a lot of them believe that once they come out of there, they think that everybody is going to forgive them. Everything's going to be okay. The harsh reality is that if you have pending court cases, those aren't going to go away. If you've destroyed relationships with your family, that's not going to go away. You've destroyed relationships with your wife or your husband. All these things are still going to be waiting for you when you get out of inpatient therapy or outpatient or you go through a detox phase. Now, a lot of times we can't blame these people for, not forgiving us right away or believing that we're getting sober. But inside us, it hurts. We want everything to be back the way it was. We want everything to be good again. But the reality is that it's not going to be. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. One of the things that I mention a lot on my channel and I repeat over and over again is to try to just focus on the things that you can change right now. Outside entities of your life, you have no control over. Like you can't control how your significant other thinks. You can't control how the court case is going to play out. You can't control, your family members or your friends, like they all have to see the change in you and they often have to make the decision for themselves. I say this really easily, but it's extremely hard, is that there's no point in trying to worry about outside entities, things that you can't control. Easier said than done, but dwelling on those things and thinking about those things, could absolutely cripple your sobriety. It could cripple you, it could send you spiraling. The more you think about it, the more you're overloaded inside your head. It's a lot to deal with. The one thing that we can't control is how we see ourselves, how we treat ourselves, how we go through sobriety. And that's through developing ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually every single day, trying to become a better person. I've said it time and time again, if you focus on yourself and you build yourself into this like bulletproof person, mentally, physically, all those outside entities will see the change. When it happens, they'll come back. But another harsh reality is that some of them won't come back. I've had a lot of friends that I've lost through sobriety. I had been sober, a few years under my belt, and I've, had a chance to reach out to them. I've had a chance to, apologize to them. And I've had a few people say, thank you for the apology, but, I'm good. I don't need to talk to you, and it's very hurtful at the time. You can have that from family members. You can have that from friends. You can have that from significant others. And it's something that you have to prepare yourself for. I don't want you to get into a mindset of like, I'm going to go get sober. I'm going to do the best thing for me. And then everybody else is going to come around to it. It's something that's setting you up for failure. You have to mentally prepare for these kinds of things and just try to focus on yourself. The number one priority when you're getting sober is yourself. It's a selfish thing. You're no good to anybody around you. You're no good to your family, your friends, your significant others, unless you're whole. You have to show them that you've changed. And sometimes that could take years. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes weeks. But be mentally prepared for this. I've always been a firm believer in, what's going to happen is going to happen. And you have to roll with it. I completely lost my whole group of friends. I had to start hanging out with new friends. I had to make new friends. I had to do, at the time I wasn't talking to my family. And it was tough. I had friends that I had been friends with for years that, didn't, accept my apology, but just didn't want to have anything to do with me. And that path that I went down, though it was hard, it led me to my wife that I have now. You know, had I not been finding a new group of friends, had I not met those people, I may have never met my wife. I may have never been able to have children with my wife, you know, and I have a great life now. That path that I went down that was extremely hard at the time was what life had in store for me. And all I did was I just focused on myself. I focused on just trying to build myself into the best person that I can be so that when I meet those new people and I meet my new significant other friends, I could be of service to them. I could make myself so whole that I can then give that away to people and help other people. I hope this gives you a little bit of insight. I'm going to do a few videos like this of harsh truths of sobriety, but this is one of the most important ones. Again, if you guys are loving the content, please like, please comment, please subscribe. I love all you guys. I'm out.